This from Minnesota United. They've signed Adrian Heath to a contract extension through 2024. Here's the good news. Minnesota's made the playoffs each of the last 3 years under Heath. Here's the bad news, Herc. Currently, they sit 11th in the Western Conference. So, Herc, are you cool with, given the current circumstances in Minnesota United handing Heath this 2-year extension?
I guess I'm cool with it if you are cool with it as a fan base. Let me explain myself. In Major League Soccer, in each conference, about half the teams make the playoffs. That's not a bar. That's not a measuring stick for success. Now, Adrian Heath now is the 4th longest tenured coach in Major League Soccer. Okay, Peter Vermes, Brian Schmetzer, and Curtin. Okay, all those have something in common. Do you know what that something in common is? They've won something. They've won something. Curtin's won a Supporters' Shield, okay? The other two have won MLS Cups. Insanely successful, whatever you want. Adrian Heath, he's not won anything. Not in Orlando, not in Minnesota. In fact, he's lost more games than he's won. 72-63. They're 11th right now, but if you want to go to the Supporters' Shield standings, they're 20th in the standings. This to me, and it always has been, I don't care if you want to say, yeah, but the first few years were an expansion side. That's no longer an excuse in Major League Soccer. I would rather be an expansion side in Major League Soccer and start from scratch than some of these other teams. That's a reality, okay? You can win if you do it right. Now, they've spent tons of money. They've brought in tons of players. Same outcome. If you're fine with being mediocre, then I've got no issue with the surprise announcement, because that's what it is to me, a surprise announcement. If you went on a run, a crazy run, and was like MLS Cup, I've got no issues. But that's not been the case. It's not been the case in Minnesota. It's not been the case in Orlando. And this is nothing against Adrian Heath, but I think if you want to aspire to be a top franchise in the league, this doesn't scream it.
You asked if fans would be cool with it. It's absolutely just a couple anecdotes, but I will say this. We had people hitting us up on Twitter about the show, asking us to talk from a Minnesota United fan perspective about this. I have friends of mine who are Minnesota United fans texting me, and I think that the general consensus is that there's at least, Herc, a part of the Minnesota United fan base, to your point, that isn't exactly convinced of what they've seen so far from Adrian Heath. There is the playoffs in the last 3 seasons. That's not a very high bar. There are some finals. There was the 2019 Open Cup final. There's the Western Conference final in 2020. There's some success. But I don't know, I'm kind of with you here. This doesn't seem like you're chasing ambition. This seems like a very comfortable move for Minnesota United. There's some progress, but it's not overwhelming, and especially from a timing standpoint, Herc. When you're sitting 11th in the West, maybe give them some time to turn it around, right? Maybe
They've not
give them
won
some
the
time
last
to get
3 games, and here's your
Right.
announcement.
Right. If you don't want fans to jump down your throat, then you got to think about timing. Maybe this was the only timing that they had to make this decision on Adrian Heath.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.